What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, it is Lions Talk Live, and by the time you're watching it, it will be Friday morning. I'll probably right around 7 a.m., but just so you know, as far as Michigan time, it's almost 2:30, 2:40 a.m. when I'm recording this, because I'm out, as most of you know, out in Las Vegas for a number of different reasons, and just getting back into the hotel, it's 11 something or whatever, had a late dinner or whatever, but I want to get this over to you guys, want to get something. I was hoping to get a live, not going to work out that way, just with the time differences, time I'm getting in here. It can't get a live, so I figured, before I'd go to bed or whatever, I'd try to record something, get you guys something for there, and then see what I can do for Saturday or Sunday. And anyways, before you do anything, you can probably tell from today's thumbnail, there's possibly a move the Detroit Lions might make. Could it be? I don't have any sources behind this. I don't have any information behind it. It's all going to be speculation, but I think when we get to the main topic of the day, if the Lions are going to kick cans on signing somebody who's not Zadarius Smith to be their defensive end or one of the people for the rotation, this move might make a whole lot of sense. Again, we'll get into that during the main topic of the day, but I think, hey, Lions have some flexibility with the cap space. We all get it. Could they make a move here? This would make sense, and it wouldn't cost you a draft pick or anything like that. You would just simply have to sign the guy. We'll get into it during the main topic of the day. All right, real quick, before we get into that, before we get into the 5 headlines now, even though there are only going to be 4 headlines, I didn't have time to get 5 full headlines for you guys at this hour. But anyway, before you can, if you would be so kind, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get the show to 13,900 subs, and we're about 50 subs away from it. So if you have a half second of time, I surely would be thankful. Also, while you're doing that, if you reach on over, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Last but never least, as you're seeing scrolling at the bottom of the screen, if you're looking to buy or sell property anywhere in the great state of Michigan or in the continental United States, go ahead, call me, text me, whatever you got to do. Reach out to me, 269-998-2384. We can have a quick conversation, try to see what I can do to use over 30 years in the real estate industry to help you out. Make sure you don't get overcharged, overworked by somebody, whatever it is. I can watch out for you, try to take care of you. Give me a call or shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen. All right, with all that done, set out of the way, and keep in mind, I've been up since, 3 a.m. Michigan time, so about 24 hours. So if I'm a little tired, hey, I'm doing the best I can here for you guys. All right, with all that done, set out of the way, let's get the show rocking and rolling and getting over to the first subject, which is 5 headlines now. All right, 5 glorious headlines coming your way. And again, I only had time to get 4 of them, so apologies for this Friday morning for you guys. All right, the perfect Lions quarterback just fell into their lap. The heavy. This story is coming from us to us from Ann Erickson. Most of you guys know the Lions have had some kind of level of, I guess you could say, conversations about what they should do backing up Jared Goff. Me, myself, and I really hope Hendon Hooker ends up being the one-all, whatever you can say, the right guy, the draft pick, everything is going to pan out and be okay. Maybe even in the future, be the replacement at some point for Jared Goff. Even though my personal opinion is Jared Goff, he probably could play for another 5, 6, 7 years, assuming he stays healthy, etc. As you guys also know, Adam was brought in to try to help beef up the competition for the backup spot. Even, trying to maybe push Hendon Hooker to ascend to become a little bit better. But as many of you know, and Lauren, or the Michigan Panther Pride, who's always in the chat, always covering the UFL, there's now another quarterback debate that's affecting the Detroit Lions, and that would be, as most of you guys know, we've talked about in the Duke Crew before, but Bryce Perkins. Bryce Perkins, he's played for the Rams. He's played for a couple of different, professional football teams, and he's had some real success. Could the Lions bring him in, as this story suggests, bring him in, add a little bit more flexibility, add a little bit more competition, maybe a little bit more athleticism? You've seen all the good stuff if you watch the UFL and the Michigan Panthers this year, what this kid is able to do. He's gaining more and more experience, which clearly he needed before this season. But in his defense, whatever you want to term it, he's gaining experience, he's gaining leverage, and now that he's had a run with the LA Rams, he's had a run with the Michigan Panthers, should it be time for the Detroit Lions to go ahead and kick the tires, invite him into training camp, and see what this kid can do? And Erickson believes so. And you know what? I'll be honest. I think so too. I think it would be a good move for the Lions for multiple different reasons. Nothing more. If you're not 100% sold on Hendon Hooker or Kyle Adams, then go ahead and create more competition. See what he can do. See if he can push those other guys to become better. Let's see if they do it. I do think the Lions are going to add a few more pieces to their puzzle before the season gets here, before training camp, etc. So we'll see if Bryce Perkins is a part of that in the future. All right, next the 4 headlines now. Detroit Lions Sam LaPorta reveals new mindset entering 2025. Iowa Hawkeye news with this one. Most of you guys understand, Sam LaPorta, I am LaPorta, played for the Iowa Hawkeyes. So they're always going to look after their own in the NFL, try to produce, some content for their websites and services. But in an interview with Sam LaPorta this week, the Iowa Hawkeyes did sit down, and this reporter is Andrew Kuhl. So Kuhl sat down, talked to him at length and ad nauseum. LaPorta said he didn't really know what to expect out of year 2 in the NFL. Year 1, he came in just not knowing anything, working his butt off, and we all get the type of season he had. One for the record books for the NFL. Perhaps one could argue the greatest season ever by a rookie tight end in NFL history. And I'm not going to say it was the greatest, but you could say it was in the conversation. For a multitude of reasons last year, year 2, it wasn't quite the same start. Some of it injury, some of it was schematic changes. As teams tried to take him away, blanket coverage, underneath coverage, etc. They tried to do what they could to limit him. But throughout the year, you saw these results get better and better. Now, Sam LaPorta went into offseason talking about what he could do to make sure he pushes his game to yet another level. And sounds like, in fairness to him, he's worked with a bunch of different people. You guys have all heard of Tight End University. You've heard all the glorious tight ends who are over there, working there, trying to improve their game, trying to improve their contract structures, etc. Talk about Sam LaPorta at Tight End University, and they all have the same thing to say. This guy is putting on a clinic and a show, just something they haven't seen before. Some of them even speculated the way he's looking right now, going into year 3, that Sam LaPorta might be the best tight end in the whole NFL. LaPorta, when talking to Iowa Hawkeyes on SI.com, said he spent a lot of time working with Travis Kelce and a number of other tight ends on simple little things to get more out of his route structure, get more out of his blocking. There have been some that said his run blocking wasn't the greatest. Coming out of college, he was thought of as a pretty good one. But in the NFL, like we all know, most younger players take time to develop. He wanted to improve that more and more. LaPorta said that he's got basically, and I'm going to paraphrase here, so I don't break down the entire quote, but he wants to be a constant threat for other teams to help pull coverage off of other players. And he knows in turn, and he specifically says St. Brown's doing the same for him, Jameis Williams doing the same for him. It's a very kumbaya situation. The Lions' offensive weapons have. They know they're all piggybacking off each other and helping each other while helping themselves. LaPorta said he wants to be considered one of the best NFLs when this next year, year 3 for him, ends. He wants to be able to look at everybody and say, across the universe, across the NFL, everybody considers him one of the best NFL tight ends out there. And you know what? I think they already do, but good for him to want to push his game to yet another level. All right, going on to the next of the 5 headlines now. Let's see. Excuse me. I guess I only have 3 headlines now. I thought I had 4, but I only have 3 on the screen. Lions predicted to replace Alex Anzalone with 117 tackle linebacker, drawing Fred Warren comparison. This is from the Sporting News. Mike Moranis with this one. Now, will it happen? I don't know. Could it happen? It probably might, because you know what? We don't know what's going on with Alex Anzalone. all's been quiet, I guess you could say, on the Anzalone front for about 2 weeks now. Now, in defense of Alex Anzalone, and I know a bunch of people in the Duke crew have brought this point up, but just make sure we're on the same page. He hasn't missed anything pertinent. He hasn't missed anything other than OTAs, and that's not abnormal under Dan Campbell that some of the veterans do miss OTAs. As we all know, Alex Anzalone wants a contract extension. As we all know, he wants to be paid a little bit more because maybe it's affected by how Derek Barnes' new contract has been structured. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that because really it has nothing to do with this. But in this particular story, the Lions are potentially considering signing somebody just as a security blanket, I think we could say, in case Anzalone does not sit out, in case Derek Barnes' knee has any kind of situation, in case Jack Campbell maybe stumbles a little bit and doesn't quite produce what he did last year. C.J. Allen is yet another alpha to be added to the Detroit Lions defense, and this is coming from this particular reporter. He thinks that he could be brought in. He thinks the former Georgia Bulldog will come in and tally and have great results in Kelvin Shepard's defense, produce at a high level. He's done it before in the NFL. Could he now continue that trend with the Detroit Lions? I think that when you look at this entire story, and this story, like I said, it's multiple parts. ESPN's Matt Miller is also on it. Lists Allen as a, quote, rising star. Is during a lot of the different stuff. The 6'1", 235-pound linebacker, can do. We all get Alex Anzalone is great in coverage. Jack Campbell, it got a whole lot better in coverage, didn't he, last year, while being great against the run. Alex Anzalone, I'd say he's above average in the run game defense. Both Matt Miller with ESPN and then again with Sporting News and everybody else talking about this. Here's what I can also say. I think most people that watch C.J. Allen would agree C.J. Allen is a great downhill defender. Can shut down the run left and right. The question marks on him come down to really what can he do in pass defense. And unfortunately, not many in the NFL can do what Alex Anzalone can do. But if you're going to go get C.J. Allen, if you're going to bring him in, yes, you've got a locker room presence that's real solid. Yes, you maybe make your run game defense better. But can you go out and try to do what Alex Anzalone does in the pass game defense? Probably not. But you know what? Just because he's not Alex Anzalone doesn't mean he's not a good player. So we'll see if Brad Holmes makes the move on that. All right, guys, again, I got to make this a shorter one. I've been up for about 24 straight hours, and I'm feeling dog tired. So without further ado, let's get you guys over to the main topic of the day. Main topic of the day, as you can see from the thumbnail on today's show, the Lions have a possibility in front of them. And you've got a couple different people jumping on this story. I couldn't get it over to you guys earlier today when it happened. Lions haven't signed anybody yet, but this signing would make sense. As many of you guys know, and I'm going to kill this name, so, I get everybody's going to say, well, it's pronounced this way, but it is what it is. You guys have watched the show for any length of time. I've murdered the English language and other languages for a long time. The Cleveland Browns have released defensive end, Okwayo. So, and I get that's probably not even close to right, but hopefully you get it. He was released on Thursday, which is still today for me, by the way. And I do think the Lions have brought in a bunch of people last year. We all get it. Alquin Muhammad, amongst others, that really are going to contribute to this team. They did it last year. They're going to do it more this year. Yes, the Lions invested in Ahmed Hassanin, and I think everybody agrees this kid's probably got a whole lot to offer this year and beyond this year. But could the Lions, if they don't feel Za'Darius Smith is going to be a part of the team this year, because again, while we all assuming Z-Man is going to sign with the team, he hasn't done it yet. So maybe in a safeguard move, the Lions could go ahead and sign this guy and get to him. Now, let's look back real quick and understand the Cleveland Browns released him yesterday, or for you guys yesterday, for right now, the time of recording this, it is the same day for me. Ahead of his final year of his current contract, he's released as a corresponding move for the team so they can sign a kicker. And, I'm not going to worry about the kicker because that has nothing to do with us. But I'm going to just murder that name, so I'm just going to leave it alone. But anyways, he did sign with the Cleveland Browns, 3-year deal worth $19 million prior to the 2023 season, was set to make, we'll just say, a shade over $5 million this year going into the 25 campaign. What I think you get, if you know this guy, if you watched him for any time, he's got some size. He's got some ability. He can shut down the run. He can get to the quarterback, not greatly, but he can get there. So would he be a good rotational piece for the Lions, a good insurance piece? That's where I think you got some real validity for the Lions potentially assigning him. Will they do it? I don't know. I think it all comes down to, do you believe Zadarius Smith is going to be a Detroit Lion or not? If he's not, I think you've got a window of opportunity to reach out and try to get someone like him, or maybe there's somebody else out there. If you feel like Zadarius Smith is going to resign with Lions, then you know what? This is a nothing burger, and I wouldn't even mess with it. But the Lions have a rare opportunity here to sign somebody and improve their overall depth. I do think he would help out. Even if you sign Zadarius Smith, you may want to kick the tires on him. I also suspect there'll be a few other teams in the mix to try to acquire him, because this guy does have some real ability. He does have some ability to, like I said, stop the run, get up to the quarterback. So he's kind of a mixed bag of things. He's got a little bit of something, not a lack of anything. All right, guys, I'm going to shut this one down. I am dog tired. I got to get at least a couple hours sleep before I get back up at it in the morning, 6 a.m. this time, which is 9 a.m. Michigan time. So hopefully you guys understand it's I'm like literally 15 minutes shy of being up for 24 hours, and I've been sweating. I'm tired. I want to get a shower, and I want to go to bed. So, all right, guys, I'll try to get a live show up for you Saturday. If not, it'll be another pre-recorded show. But Monday, I'll be back to the normal things, be back in Michigan, back to the Duke Crew, Lions Talk Live Center, and get everything back to normal. All right, take care. If you would be so kind, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. Take care of each other. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. And we will see you all on the next Lions Talk Live. Good night, everybody. Good morning or whatever it is. And you guys just have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one. See you now. You're still here? What are you doing here? It's over. The show's over. Go home.